Hello and happy April 30th! We made it to the end of Vlog Every Day in April! I didn't tell you I was doing that. I just decided to just do it anyway and not say anything, because if you have a goal that you don't tell anyone about, then nobody knows if you fail. It's a great system. I made it up myself. I'm a genius. Anyway, today's vlog is going to be another Adventures in Retail, and this one was, I guess this wasn't something that happened to me directly, I just kind of witnessed it, but I had this co-worker who was like, I think 20-year-old female. She was pretty new, and she helped this customer. This guy came in on a pretty regular basis, not like every day, but like maybe once a month or something, so he seemed familiar, but like, he was just a normal customer. He would just come in and get some kind of documents copied, like something for work. It wasn't anything that stood out. But this time he came in with like some handwritten stuff. And I'm starting to notice a pattern here going back through these, that anytime somebody comes in with something handwritten to copy, you should just know that you're going to be in for some crazy. Because who does that? Who gets handwritten things copied? It's always going to be something weird. So this co-worker of mine helps him, and you know, she just makes his copies and whatever, gives them back, and he says, "Did you read those?" And she's like, "No, we don't read your stuff." And then he was like, "Oh, well, these are poems I wrote for the woman that I love." And I'm like overhearing this from I was standing pretty close by working on something, and I'm just like, oh no, it's about to get weird. She's like, "Oh, that's great," and he goes, let me read you one of them. And I was just like, oh no, I feel so bad for her. And she's like, okay, sure. And then he starts reading this poem, and it's just, you know, it wasn't a bad poem, but like, he goes in like full on poetry reading voice. It's a whole performance, and this was not a short poem. This went on probably for like 30 seconds or so, but it felt like hours. It felt like I had grown years older, like I emerged from that a different person, that experience of just being so uncomfortable for what felt like so long. It was just dead silence in the store as he's reading this poem. You can't just, the only acceptable place to read a poem, even if it's good, is at a poetry reading or some kind of poetry club or something. Somewhere where everybody there knew what they were getting into. They knew when they went there that they were going to be read poetry. So they're in that mindset and they're ready for it. You don't just do that at a business to a person who can't leave. They're working there. They have to be nice to you. So he just goes through this whole poem, and it finally ends, and she's just like, oh, that was great, because what else is she gonna say? Of course she's gonna say it was great. And he's like, oh, really? You think it was good? Let me read you another one. And so at this point I'm just like, oh no. So he goes through a whole other poem, and then it's finally over. I don't remember what happened after that, really. I must have just blocked this out. But I guess he just paid for his stuff and left. But after that, it was just like, oh man. And every time he came in after that, I was so worried that I was going to get stuck hearing more poetry. But he never did read anymore. He always, every other time, he just had his normal stuff. So, you know, if I like poetry, I even like poetry readings at times. But, you know, don't read it to a captive audience who didn't sign up to hear some poetry right then. Like, we had work to do. Alright, so that is the story of the poetry guy, and we had some nice percussion in the background from Jack's impromptu tap dancing. I hope you enjoyed that. But, yeah, vlog every day in April is over, but I will continue to vlog, probably not every day, but I want to vlog at least every few days on a regular basis. And I've got a new kind of video vloggy kind of project that I'm starting up. It may spin off into its own channel, but I kind of want to test it out here and see how it goes. So be on the lookout for that. But other than that, see you guys later.